You wake up, your body is still heavy, your eyes half closed, and your first instinct is to go straight to the kitchen. You reach for the coffee. Strong, black, no food, just the bitter comfort of a habit you've kept for years. It feels like a normal part of your routine, like brushing your teeth or turning on the light. But what if this small, automatic ritual is actually one of the most harmful things you do to your stomach every single day? Most people have no idea what happens inside the body during those first fragile moments after waking. Your stomach has been resting. It's been empty for hours, with its inner lining vulnerable and exposed. But the moment you open your eyes, your brain sends a signal. It tells your digestive system to prepare. Acid begins to form. It's subtle at first, almost silent. But then you pour coffee into this raw, unprotected environment. Not a meal, not something solid to buffer the acid, just pure, black, acidic stimulation. What does that mean for your body? Imagine a wound on your skin. Now imagine pouring lemon juice or vinegar on top of it every single morning. That burning sensation, that sting, that's what your stomach lining goes through. You may not feel it as sharply. Maybe it just feels like a gentle warmth in your chest. Maybe a little air trapped in your throat. Maybe an occasional burp after breakfast. But inside, it's a slow and silent erosion. This is exactly how gastritis starts. Not as a dramatic illness, but as a pattern, a habit, a routine that repeats until damage is no longer microscopic. And by the time most people notice something is truly wrong, the condition is advanced. They think it's just age. They think it's normal to feel a little pressure in the chest or a strange discomfort at night. But as a digestive doctor would tell you, that little discomfort is a red flag. There's a reason why so many elderly patients arrive at the clinic with chronic reflux, inflammation, or even ulcers. Not because they were careless, not because they ate something strange once, but because of tiny, repeated injuries to their stomach wall, happening every single day, without them knowing. Coffee in the morning is not the enemy, but coffee on an empty stomach, as your first contact with the world, is. And it's not just coffee. Some start the day with lemon water, herbal teas, or even apple cider vinegar, believing it will detox the body. These drinks, while praised by health influencers, are highly acidic. In a healthy stomach, they might do little harm. But for someone over 55, with reduced mucus protection, slower digestion, and a sensitive gut, they can be devastating over time. And the body doesn't always shout. It whispers. It gives clues. A dry cough that won't go away. A raspy voice in the morning. A sensation of tightness under the ribs after a light meal. Many dismiss these signs. They take antacids. They blame aging. But each symptom is a message. Your body is trying to protect itself from something it can no longer handle the way it used to. One story that stays with me is of a man in his early 60s, retired, active, seemingly healthy. He came to the clinic not for stomach pain, but for a persistent sore throat. He had been taking lozenges for months. When we asked about his routine, he said with pride that he starts every morning with a strong espresso and a slice of toast. On most days, just the coffee. No symptoms, he said, just the throat. But an endoscopy revealed mild esophagitis and signs of gastritis. The real damage wasn't where he felt it. It was deeper, hidden, quiet, until it wasn't. This is the dangerous part. We wait for pain to validate a problem, but in digestion, pain often comes last. Before that, there are patterns. And unfortunately, we normalize those patterns. We laugh off acid burps, brush off a little nausea, and ignore the changing relationship we have with food. But the stomach remembers. It records every offense, every morning cup with no food, every acidic drink taken with pride. Over time, the damage builds. And it's not just about discomfort. An inflamed stomach affects nutrient absorption. It leads to fatigue, weak immunity, and even emotional imbalances. The gut and brain are deeply connected, and when the gut suffers, the whole body feels it. You may be thinking, then what should I do? The answer isn't to stop drinking coffee forever. It's about timing. It's about respecting your stomach's natural rhythm, giving it something soft first. A banana, a small piece of bread, something to shield the lining before introducing acidity, drinking warm water before anything else, avoiding citrus, vinegar, and high-acid drinks on an empty stomach. These small changes may seem insignificant, but they are the difference between preserving your digestive health and slowly tearing it apart. Because when you're over 55, everything becomes more sensitive. Healing is slower. The body requires gentleness, precision, and intention. What worked for you at 30 may now be pushing your digestive system past its limits. And while what you do in the morning sets the stage, what you eat next could be quietly making everything worse, especially when it's something you thought was helping you. If this video helped you understand something you've been feeling for a while, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. And if you want more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and join our growing community. You sit at your table in the morning, proud of the choices you've made. A colorful bowl of fruit, a tall glass of orange juice, maybe a few slices of whole grain toast with fresh tomato. Everything looks healthy. You feel like you're doing the right thing. After all, isn't this what they always told you to eat? Natural, fresh, packed with vitamins. But what no one explained is how this exact combination may be hurting your stomach more than helping it. Especially if you're already dealing with reflux, bloating, or that nagging feeling of heaviness that never quite goes away. The truth is unsettling. Many of the foods labeled as healthy by popular media are incredibly acidic or fermentable once they enter your digestive system. And for a stomach that's already been irritated by years of habits, medications, or age-related changes, that's a dangerous combination. Imagine putting lemon juice on a wound. It's not about how nutritious it is. It's about how much it stings when your skin is already raw. That's exactly what happens inside your stomach. Let's talk about tomatoes. Raw tomato slices on toast or in your salad are full of lycopene and antioxidants. That's true, but they're also high in natural acids that can trigger gastric inflammation when consumed frequently. The same goes for citrus fruits like oranges or grapefruits. Yes, they're loaded with vitamin C, but they are also capable of lowering the pH in your stomach and irritating the mucosal lining, especially if your stomach was already inflamed from previous meals or medication side effects. And then there's the hidden danger in oats and granola. These foods are often promoted as digestive allies, but oats, particularly in processed forms, can ferment during digestion, producing gas and pressure. Granola often comes loaded with sweeteners, seeds, or dried fruits that are hard to break down. They sit in your gut, fermenting slowly and increasing internal pressure. That pressure can push acid upward, triggering reflux symptoms that many people don't even recognize as digestive issues. They just feel tired, foggy, anxious, and they never connect it to the so-called healthy breakfast they've had for years. There is also a silent war happening in your gut microbiome. Certain foods, even natural ones, can alter the balance of bacteria in your digestive tract. For example, if you consume yogurt with added sweeteners or artificial flavors, thinking you're helping your digestion, you might be feeding harmful bacteria instead. Over time, this imbalance leads to inflammation, gas buildup, and a weakened barrier in your stomach lining. What follows is a cascade of symptoms, subtle at first, but gradually more persistent. It often begins with a sense of fullness, even after eating small amounts. Then come the frequent burps, a slight burning that creeps up the throat, an itchy sensation at the back of your tongue, and over time, a quiet resistance to meals that used to feel light. People start avoiding food not because they are dieting, but because their body is warning them. Yet the warning signs are misread, and instead of changing the diet, They add antacids, believing it will calm the storm. There's a case I'll never forget. A woman in her early 70s came to me with what she called a mystery illness. She had no pain, just fatigue, bloating, and a strange pressure behind her sternum. She followed a strict health routine: organic vegetables, homemade juices, no processed sugar. On paper, everything was perfect. But in practice, her gut was in chaos. She was combining highly fermentable foods, raw, acidic fruits, and cold juices on an already sensitive digestive system. Her body wasn't rejecting food. It was begging for relief. We ran tests. Her stomach lining was inflamed. The microbial diversity in her gut was low. Her esophagus showed signs of acid exposure, and she never had heartburn. Not once. That's what made it so hard to diagnose. Her symptoms were not textbook, but the damage was real, all caused by an overload of foods that were technically healthy, but functionally harmful in her specific case. This is the paradox that so many people fall into. They think if it's natural, it's safe. But natural is not always neutral. Acid is natural. So is caffeine. So is alcohol. All of them can cause damage when the environment is already compromised. The key is not to fear food, but to understand it, to listen to how your body reacts, not just to what the label says. Have you experienced any of these symptoms and never knew they were connected to your stomach? Share your thoughts below. Your comment might help someone else. And while you're here, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next important topic. Start paying attention to the signals. Does a food that once felt refreshing now make you feel tight in the chest? Does your energy drop after meals that should give you strength? Is your digestion slow or your appetite unpredictable? These are not small inconveniences. These are signs of a system under stress. It's also worth noting how emotional responses are tied to digestion. When the stomach is inflamed, it affects serotonin production. That's the hormone that helps regulate mood. This is why people with ongoing gut irritation often feel anxious, irritable, or depressed without understanding the connection. You are not just what you eat, you are how you digest. And if digestion is disturbed, your entire well-being follows. Healing your stomach doesn't mean giving up healthy food. It means choosing the right foods for the condition your stomach is in now. Steamed vegetables instead of raw salads. Cooked apples instead of orange juice. Soft grains instead of heavy granola. Foods that soothe instead of provoke. Warm, gentle, simple. This is how you begin to rebuild. Because the damage caused by these hidden triggers doesn't show up in one day. It's the repetition, the morning juice, the raw tomato lunch, the oat-based dinner, all layered on top of an inflamed gut lining that never gets a chance to recover. And while the food may be the start, it's not the only piece, because what you drink alongside these meals could be making everything much worse. And you may be sipping it right now without the slightest idea of how destructive it truly is. You sit down after a long day, or perhaps right in the middle of your lunch, and reach for something that feels light and refreshing. Maybe it's a sparkling water with lemon flavor. Maybe it's a sugar-free soda. Or maybe just a cold bottled tea that promises antioxidants and health. It's fizzy. It's cool. It helps you burp and feel less bloated. And for a moment, it feels like it helps. But what if the exact thing that makes you feel momentary relief is actually weakening your stomach in ways you can't feel right away? Most people don't realize how much their beverages affect their digestive system. Food gets the attention. Meals are blamed for reflux, bloating, and gas. But the damage often starts with what you drink, especially if you drink it cold, especially if you drink it with bubbles, and especially if you believe it's harmless just because it's low in calories. Carbonated drinks, diet sodas, and flavored sparkling waters are packed with ingredients that disrupt the balance of your stomach. First, there's the gas. The carbonation creates pressure in your stomach. That pressure can push the acidic contents upward, especially if the valve at the top of your stomach is already weakened. That valve is called the lower esophageal sphincter. Its job is to keep acid inside your stomach, where it belongs. But when it's relaxed by the bubbles in your drink, acid finds a way out. Then there are the sweeteners. Most sugar-free drinks use artificial compounds like aspartame, sucralose, or acesulfame potassium. These ingredients are technically calorie-free, but they are not harmless. They irritate the lining of the stomach, interfere with your gut bacteria, and in many cases increase the production of stomach acid. For someone already dealing with gastritis or reflux, this is a dangerous mix. There's also the acidity of the drink itself. Many of these beverages, even the ones labeled natural or healthy, have a low pH. That means they are acidic before they even touch your stomach. When combined with the acid your body naturally produces, the result is overwhelming. The stomach becomes hyperactive, the lining becomes inflamed, and the protective mucus barrier begins to thin out. All this without you feeling any pain in the beginning. People often confuse the temporary relief of burping with digestion improving. But that release of gas is not a sign of comfort. It's a sign of pressure being forced upward. And what often follows is the silent burn of acid reaching the esophagus. That is where the deeper damage begins. At first, it's just a sensation, a dry throat, a strange taste in the mouth. But as it repeats, the tissue in the esophagus begins to change. It becomes red, inflamed, in some cases, even precancerous. Your voice matters. Tell us in the comments what part of this video spoke to you the most. And if you found this information valuable, make sure to subscribe. We're here every week with more insights for your health and well-being. There was a patient in his late 50s. He had switched from regular sodas to sparkling water, thinking it was a healthier choice. He drank about 3 to 4 cans a day, usually with meals. He didn't feel any burning or reflux, just occasional coughing and a bitter taste in the morning. When we examined his esophagus through endoscopy, there were visible erosions. The damage had been building silently for over a year. He thought he was doing better by cutting out sugar, but in reality, the acidic load from his drinks had become his new enemy. And it's not just what you drink during the day. Nighttime habits matter just as much. Many people enjoy herbal teas or lemon-infused waters before bed. These drinks sound gentle, even calming. But again, acidity is not about flavor. It's about how it reacts with your internal environment. Even a mild herbal tea can stimulate acid production depending on your current gut condition. And if you lie down soon after drinking it, the acid has a clear path up your esophagus. There's also the issue of temperature. Cold drinks, especially icy ones, slow down digestion. They constrict blood vessels in the stomach, reducing enzyme activity and making it harder for your body to break down food. When digestion is delayed, fermentation begins. That fermentation produces gas. And again, gas leads to pressure. That pressure becomes reflux. Some might say that their body feels better with a soda, that they crave the bubbles, that they need it for energy. But often, what feels like a craving is actually a dependency created by your nervous system trying to counterbalance digestive discomfort. You're not addicted to the soda itself. You're addicted to the relief from the symptoms your diet is silently causing. Healing starts when you stop numbing the signals. When you stop confusing temporary relief with real improvement. A calm stomach doesn't need to burp after every meal. It doesn't feel tight or heavy. It doesn't send acid back up the throat. It digests silently, smoothly, and without effort. If you want to support that healing, consider switching to room temperature water with no gas. Add herbs like chamomile or ginger only if your stomach tolerates them well. Avoid citrus at night. Stay away from artificial sweeteners completely. And never rely on carbonated drinks to fix bloating. They are not solving the problem. They are feeding it. Most importantly, be honest about how you feel. Don't wait for pain to validate your symptoms. Watch for the patterns, the dryness in your mouth, the white coating on your tongue, the tightness in your upper chest after a drink. the restless sleep that follows. These are the body's subtle ways of asking you to stop, to adjust, to choose peace over pressure. And once you've stopped feeding the fire from the inside, the next step is to look at what your body does when you rest. Because how you lie down at night might be undoing everything you've tried to heal during the day. ChatGPT dit, at the end of the day, after you've done your best to eat the right foods, avoid harmful drinks, and care for your digestion, you lie down. You finally give your body the rest it deserves. But there's something most people never consider. That the very position you sleep in might be silently reversing all your efforts. That while your mind rests, your stomach could be under attack. Not because of what you did wrong during the day, but because of gravity. Yes, something as simple as gravity can decide whether you wake up feeling better or worse. Your stomach was designed to work in harmony with your body's natural movements. When you're upright, gravity helps keep stomach acid in its place. The lower esophageal sphincter, a small muscular valve at the top of your stomach, holds the acid back. But when you lie flat, especially on your back or right side, gravity disappears from the equation. And if that valve is even slightly weak or relaxed, acid begins to travel upward, slowly, silently, and over time, destructively. The result is a condition called nocturnal reflux. Unlike daytime reflux, it doesn't always come with sharp burning. Instead, it shows up as subtle signs. You wake up with a dry throat, a sour taste in your mouth. You notice you're coughing more at night. You feel like something is stuck in your throat that just won't go away. These symptoms are not random. They are direct consequences of acid making its way into places it should never reach, while your body is lying still and defenseless. And it doesn't stop there. Nighttime reflux is more dangerous because the acid stays in contact with the esophagus for longer. You're not swallowing as often. Your saliva production is lower. That means there's less natural protection. The acid lingers, it burns, and over time, it causes structural changes. Some people develop scar tissue. Others develop Barrett's esophagus, a condition that can increase the risk of cancer if left unmonitored. One man I remember was 68, active, and generally healthy. He didn't smoke, didn't drink, ate well, but every morning he woke up hoarse. His voice would crack. He thought it was allergies or dry air. But when we investigated, we found significant inflammation in his upper esophagus. The cause was not what he ate. It was how he slept. He always lay flat on his back with no elevation. He never knew that simple change in position was enough to let acid rise for hours each night. There's a simple truth here. You can eat perfectly. Avoid acidic drinks. Take care of your gut during the day. But if you ignore your sleep position, you're inviting damage when you're least able to fight it. The good news is, the solution is easy and accessible to almost everyone. Sleeping on your left side is one of the best choices for digestive health. This position places your stomach below your esophagus, making it harder for acid to rise. Elevating the head of your bed by 6 to 8 inches can also make a significant difference. Not just using more pillows under your head, which bends your neck, but actually raising the top of the bed itself, or using a wedge pillow that supports your upper body. These small adjustments reduce the angle that allows acid to flow upward and give your stomach the leverage it needs to stay calm throughout the night. You should also avoid lying down right after meals. Give your body at least 2 to 3 hours to digest properly. Avoid eating heavy or acidic foods close to bedtime. And stay aware of signs that your sleep might be disrupted by silent reflux. You don't need to wait for pain to make a change. Often, the absence of comfort is enough. That small voice in your body saying something feels off? Trust that voice. It knows more than we think. Rest is when healing happens. But for that healing to truly take place, your stomach must also be at peace, not only through your choices during the day, but through the safety you create at night. A safe sleep position is not just about comfort, it's about protection. It's about preventing a slow erosion that steals your health without making noise. Thank you for spending this time taking care of your health. Thank you for choosing to listen, to learn, and to reflect on what might be happening inside you when no one else can see. Your body has been speaking. Today, you listened. If this video brought you clarity, comfort, or even a new question, I encourage you to keep going. The next video on your screen dives deeper into what's silently damaging your digestive system and how to stop it. Click now. Your healing journey continues.